Thank the gentleman for yielding. You know, I'm going to bring this home. I think I'm the last one on the Republican side. Oh, and we have Mr. Raskin. Boy, I don't want to upstage him. But let me say, there's been a lot of alarmist rhetoric here today. There really has. And I'm just asking Ms. Warbelow, because something you said earlier really struck me. You lamented our dusty old founding documents, and you expressed your obvious disdain for the founders who drafted them. That's how it was received here. I'm not sure if that's what you intended. But are you aware, or let me say, would you agree that America is indeed the most successful, most powerful, most free nation in the history of the world?
I would agree that America is a critically important country, one that I love, but it has made mistakes and it continues to make mistakes. And as Americans, we need to come together to correct those mistakes. And I apologize if what you took away was a critique of our founders. My critique is that the founders were not representative of the people of the United States.
Sure. Well, let me reclaim my time. So, but they did acknowledge that we are in the process of making a more perfect union. And the idea that we're not the most exceptional nation in the world, I don't think is backed up by objective evidence. But let me just say that the great nation, I would assume you would agree that we are at least a great nation, a very important nation. I won't paraphrase what you said, but we are, and there's a reason for that, right? And it's not by happenstance. It's because we were founded, as my dear friend and colleague Burgess Owens just noted, on the bold declaration that all men are created equal and in the image of our Creator. And because of that, we believe that every single human life has inestimable dignity and value. And by the way, your value is not related in any way to the color of your skin or what neighborhood you grew up in or where you went to school. Your value is inherent because, as the founders noted, it is given to you by God. And we believe every person should then be measured by the content of our character, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. And we also believe, and I think America was founded upon this premise, that a just government protects innocent life. It honors marriage and family as the primary institutions of a healthy society, and it embraces the cultural influences of religion and morality. And we believe, and we propose, and it should not be a controversial notion because it wasn't in previous generations, that we preserve these ideals, we maintain these, as Ms. Foster articulated earlier. When we do that, we maintain the goodness of America, which really has been the secret of our genius and greatness. I've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. I'd yield to Ms. Foster. Is there anything you want to add as we wrap this up today?
I would. Justice Thomas, he's a philosopher. He's a textualist. We know that. And so he is not seeking to strip away rights. He is simply seeking to more firmly ground them in our nation's Constitution. And by doing that, they will be more secure, really, even than before. We know that from Obergefell, which had both equal protection and substantive due process woven throughout that decision. We know that from the Loving decision, which was founded even more strongly on equal protection than substantive due process. We know that from all of the lines of decisions that we've talked about here today. And we also know that substantive due process has a bit of a checkered past. It did not protect workers in Lochner. It did not protect Black Americans who were enslaved in Dred Scott. And so we're looking to redeem the foundation of our nation and to redeem these rights and make sure that they are grounded properly in our nation's Constitution so that they can be protected for all time to come.
And on that process in making a more perfect union, look, I'll just note, because this is the last anyone on our side will be able to say, we just celebrated our 246th birthday as a nation on July 4th, and we're still an experiment in self-governance. We're an experiment on the world stage. We have the greatest Constitution ever written. It's endured for this long, but it won't endure if we abandon its principles and untie ourselves from the moorings. That's what textualism, originalism is all about. We want to defend this matchless Constitution. It's the model for everybody else around the world. And there's a reason, these are real reasons that we are the greatest nation yet. And by God's grace will continue to be. There's been a lot said here today at the end. I hope that's what comes through, that we want to defend those fundamental freedoms. And again, as it said in the very birth certificate of the nation 246 years ago in a few days, that begins with the recognition you have an unalienable right to be born. With that, I yield back.